everybody, Mike here. So here's a quick review of this Kreg Foreman that I've had for about 4 years now. For the years prior, I always used your Kreg pocket hole jigs like you see here, and they got me by just fine, and I still find uses for these as well. When I built this miter saw station behind me, I saw this as the perfect opportunity to go ahead and make the investment in this purchase, and then while I was at it, I went ahead and built it into my miter station. So for someone who considers himself more of like a weekend warrior like myself, or maybe even getting into the beginning professional level, this Kreg Foreman is really going to shine for you. What this Foreman does for you versus like the pocket hole jig I just showed you is it gives you the ability to make a lot of repeatable cuts very quickly in a short amount of time. This table is capable of doing from 1/2 inch material all the way up to 1.5 inches, and it's easy to do by just taking your adjustment screws on your fence and loosening that up and aligning your lines on the table to the back of the fence from your 1/2 inch all the way up to your 1.5 inches. Once you dial in your fence, inside of your machine here is a little storage tray. You'll get this little jig here, and what that's going to do for you is anytime you mess with the depth of wood that you're going to be cutting, it's important to take this and run it up to your fence and make sure your bit is lined up so that it doesn't run into your fence as well. And you do that by adjusting this little set screw back here. That's gonna adjust your stop. You put that in there like that, and then this, you just want to barely touch your jig on that 3/4 inch depth. And then you lock that down. You're ready to put your holes in your wood. So the next adjustment you'll need to do is just to run this down. And this is what grabs your wood and keeps it in place while you're drilling your hole. Just barely graze your wood to where you can still slide it in and feel a little bit of resistance. And what that's gonna do for you, allow you to slide your wood in, but when you go to actually run your bit in, it's gonna force that foot down on top of your workpiece and hold that in place while you drill your hole. To give you an idea what that looks like, if you run your wood in, push in your safety push trigger, you get your pocket hole like you see here. If you got 15-20 holes to run down that side of that piece, you can either mark it where you need it to be, or you can use the measurement right here on the edge of the fence to get that exactly where you need it. So I can run through here and do 20 holes in a matter of a minute or less. What's nice about this as well is Kreg built the dust collection in the back, which I find to do a pretty fair job. It doesn't get all the dust as you're going, but I would say it probably gets close to 90%. Now when you open up your machine here, you gotta run your foot up, put your little prop up here to hold that up, and then if you pull your pin that holds your drill in place, got a quick connect. It's that easy to take your bit out, so when your bit goes dull or if you need to change bits, it's very easy to change out. And this will actually accept the micro bit as well as the heavy duty bit. And then when you're ready to put that back in, you just line up your holes with your dowels, get your handle back up here, lined up, and then run your pin back in. Just like that, we're back ready to go. So when you're just starting off, you may not be able to justify this purchase right away, which is where these pocket hole jigs come into play. But as soon as you start jumping into larger scale projects like this bench here, and you're gonna be doing 100, 200, 300, 400 holes at a time, it becomes very easy to justify a purchase like this. Now, if I just needed to do a series of 4 or 5 holes, instead of coming out having to dig my jig out of the drawer and get that set up, I can just come out here, run my piece under the Foreman, run my holes, and I'm right back to going again. So for me, in my case, and the way I built this into my workbench, it's absolutely a convenience thing for me now when I'm running a project. And what's so nice about this machine now versus when I bought it is when Kreg originally came out with this, they started this at a lot higher price point. But as the years have gone by, and this has been out now for several years, they brought that price point down to a lot more manageable levels. They've made this a lot easier for someone that's more of a DIY level to be able to get into something like this instead of having to justify the prices that they used to be back in the day. So if you've been on the fence for some time and you're not sure if the Kreg Foreman will work out for you, but you've got a big project like this or maybe a kitchen cabinet project coming up, really take a hard look at how many holes you're going to be drilling, how much time you think you might be able to save with something like this. For me, this is a huge upgrade for my shop, and it's more than paid for itself a couple times now with projects that I've done since building this miter saw station. In the end, I think you'll be extremely happy with this purchase after you've made it.